Best way to avoid mistakes on a loan application that is submitted to the lender.
This is my interrupting face, okay? If you're a business owner, you may not have had the experience before of going through a loan application process, and it is absolutely critical. Otherwise, so much time is wasted. Let's first get started with application fundamentals.
Go to the lender's website, download their lender requirements, download their FAQ, download the actual application,
and read it.
Next, you want to go through their checklist and highlight any areas on that checklist that you think might be a challenge for you. Anything that refers to intricate eligibility requirements, so you can easily reference it later on. For example, quote unquote, the business must have a minimum of full-time staffing at least 35 hours per employee weekly for a minimum of 3 months. I know that's long-winded, but it sounds like an eligibility requirement. And you got to watch out for those because a lot of that stuff exists, especially in community development programs, Linda.
Please do not think that these checklist items that you can gloss over or think perhaps you can talk your way out of them.
Okay, so next, what I like to do is just jot down either on a piece of paper, old school, pen, pencil, pen, script, Sharpie, or on your computer, my own checklist, which would include lender application instructions. Check it off, say, I read the lender application instructions. I have the lender application package. I have all the forms that it says I need. I got 1, 2, 3. Check. Next, I made a copy of the application for a test run, and we're going to talk about test run in a moment. Next is my business documents that I need assembled into a single folder so I can get right to them. That's my checklist. So each one I can go.
Can I analogize this? Is that a word? It's sort of like when you have to go to the store and you don't make a list and then you come home and you didn't get the one thing that was the main thing, that was the main reason you went to the store. Don't
I forgot
do that
eggs again.
Next,
organize all of your business documents for easy access into a single folder. I can't stress this enough. How many thousands of business owners we spoke to over the last 2 years, and you'd say, all right, whether we were on a free phone call, a consultation call, or a client, say, hey, listen, I only have about 3 minutes. Can you just grab your tax return for me and read to me what, I can't find it. Wait, you can't find a tax return?
Well, maybe it's not in the folder, or they didn't label it properly, which is another pet peeve. Label your documents, please.
So organize and label everything into the folder based upon the lender's checklist of everything you're going to need. Don't just launch into the loan application until you have all your documents and your information instantly accessible for review. You will thank me for this. You will send me giant boxes of chocolate candy. We're in a new dietary lifestyle. We don't eat chocolate anymore. You will be so thankful I told you this.
Should we scroll back?
Download the actual application.
And read it.
Don't just launch into the loan application. Do a dummy run. Do a test run. It's like buying a new car. You take it out for a test drive. Best way to avoid mistakes on a loan application that is submitted to the lender is to do a test application. Now, some of these applications are filled out online, and it's not as easy to do that. You got to kind of try to find a workaround. It can be frustrating sometimes. You can't go to the next page until you complete. But there are workarounds, so you're going to have to show some extra patience.
All of these tips are from experiences of not only pre-COVID, but disaster loan applications and processes. The sloppiness, what is your business worth? What is this money worth for you to expand your business, to grow your business, to sustain your business? Next.
On the application, answer every question. Don't leave blanks. I think we've done a video about don't leave blanks, or it's one of our EIDL.
Said it
we've beat it to death.
Times.
The application allows it. Some applications don't allow you to. Okay, that's fine. But when you can put something in there, put either NA for not applicable, or if it's a numerical value, put a 0.
I know where you remember that because we wrote
You do?
A roadmap to reconsideration. It's an EIDL product for the EIDL process. Again, stressing avoiding any sloppiness, and by reading the application prior is don't cross anything out, don't use whiteout. It just isn't professional.
We've seen stuff where the number is 3675 and they crossed out the 5 and made it to a 4. No, No, sloppy applications are going to get you what you deserve with a sloppy application, which is a hashtag fail. Your loan will not be approved, or your process will become a nightmare.
Next, this is the triple checking process, where you go through your test application and your test documents and making sure all the proper values and numbers are correct. How many times have we seen wrong phone numbers, incorrect, inaccurate addresses, wrong social security numbers, wrong EIN numbers?
Names. Oh boy, this is another big pet peeve we learned during the COVID-19 EIDL process. Mike Johnson, but his driver's license says Michael Henry Johnson. Because an application typically is going to verify your photo ID with the application, guess what should be on the application?
And your credit report.
Mike, put Michael Henry Johnson. Generally speaking, your name should be consistent across all platforms where you've applied for credit, bank statements, licensing, etc.
Let's just say this. Shortcuts bring you to the back of the line.
Yeah, or a declination,
that's
failure
even
to get
worse.
approved, a denial of funding.
This sounds like so much work, but I guarantee you, and in financial services, you can never say guarantee, that you will spend more time fixing if you don't spend the time up front clarifying and verifying.
Think about it on the loan officer underwriter side. Do you really want to make an already arduous task more complicated and difficult for them? You know, people are human. They're making subjective judgments on your application. Another thing with names is we see this also with small businesses. The name doesn't match across multiple platforms. We see the articles of formation from the state where your business is located. Then we look at the IRS SS4 for the FEIN number. And what do we see? Different business names, misspellings, or a comma where there should be no comma on that form, but it's over on this form. Or people using the DBA as the business name instead of the formal name. So if it's Trevor's Classical Guitar Collection LLC, DBA, Rock and Roll Hot Guitars, you don't put Rock and Roll Hot Guitars in the application.
This is my interrupting face. This is a way for you to tighten up all the aspects that are absolutely crucial to your business. This isn't a time to lament about how long this process is taking. You have to control what you can control. And one of those things is if there are inconsistencies, it is your responsibility to rectify them. And this is a perfect process to find out. Maybe your CPA put the wrong EIN number or misspelled your address, or things don't match on various documents that are relevant to the application process. Take this as a PhD in Business 101.
Assume that a lender or an underwriter is going to cross-reference your information on different platforms. The IRS by sending out a request for tax transcript, or your state regulator looking up your articles of formation, things of that nature. Maybe local authorities, maybe you're a restaurant that has a health department certificate, you're a contractor, that has a carpentry certificate. All these platforms should match on all items, because when a lender cross-references, the worst that's going to happen is they're going to decline you because they can't find you. If they have gotten that far and they see multiple variations of the name, it just confuses the process, and we used that word before, arduous.
They're going to slow down the process. They may put your file on the side under the pile and or decline, like Trevor said, which is the worst case scenario.
Trevor. That's okay. That's another one of the Mr. Trevo list.
In our next video, we're going to be talking about the 18 documents that you need to have for this basic fundamental application process.
Okay, I'm gone.